As was promised last week, Frontier dropped a fairly weighty patch into the game today alongside the new Dodec Starport. The patch promised some bug fixes and quality of life improvements would be arriving, and I can confirm that is indeed the case. In this video I'm going through what the update has delivered, and I'll pick out some of the more significant changes. First up then, let's talk about the headliner for the patch, the Dodecahedron Starport, hereafter called the Dodec so that I don't eat my chin every time I try and say it. After the controversy regarding its announcement last week, FDev have pulled back from putting the geometric behemoth behind a permanent paywall following some significant infused feedback, and it has instead entered an early access period similar to that used in the release of new starships, and eventually FDev have said after a similar amount of time to ships, the Dodec will be free for everyone to take advantage of. As well as being able to wield higher population, tech and development levels for a system, one of the other key features of the Dodec is the human tech broker. Whilst tech brokers are fairly ubiquitous in the bubble as was, they are completely absent from colonised space. Each Dodec will come with one of them pre-installed. Available in 3 flavours, that's no trusses, 5 trusses, or brace yourself, 10 trusses, yes 10, trusses being more colloquially referred to as noob hammers, and yes, the 10 truss version looks like a startled sea urchin. The ARX edition of the Dodec, which you can only buy once on an account, comes with 1 instant deployment credit, meaning when you have a system that has all the requirements for a T3 port, then, one time only, you can instantly deploy a Dodec with no requirement to haul tens of thousands of commodities. Be warned however, if you scrap that starport because you changed your mind, that is your instant deployment credit gone. You won't get it back. And as we mentioned last week, the Dodec in early access will set you back 50,000 ARX. Once you've purchased your Dodec, you are free to deploy and build them in the same way that you would any other T3 asset, and also, as you'd perhaps expect as with other starports, there is also a selection of paint jobs on the ARX Store for the Dodec. Moving past the Dodec then, the patch still has plenty to offer, and if you're a power player, I'd like you to prepare yourself. If you're not running Odyssey, not only will you not now be rewarded with Odyssey on foot mats that you can't use, but any excess materials that you do get in Powerplay care packages, whether they be on foot or ship flavoured, will no longer just sit there being unable to be opened. They will now be converted to credits on a scale commensurate with their grade, which you can see on screen now. If you don't open your care packages inside 30 days, then they will be auto-magically opened for you at the next server maintenance cycle, that's usually Thursdays, and again any excess mats will be turned into credits. Whilst we're on the subject of Powerplay, without going into more detail, the patch notes that measures have been put in place to prevent unfair amounts of merits being gained or to impact system control scores. Off the back of that, the on-foot power data activity has been re-enabled after previously having been disabled due to the discovery of an exploit a few months back. And commanders will no longer be able to gain excess merits or control score by selling commodities one at a time or by using laundered low value commodities. There's a degree of controversy in colonization circles due to some changes that Frontier have introduced just as the feature comes out of its beta. Following today's patch, the initial starport in a system will have more effect in the areas of development level, security, standard of living, tech and wealth, etc. Facilities built after the primary port will have decreased effects in the same areas, and this change is being applied retroactively. It is difficult to drill into the true net result of this without more science in the community being done, but there's a chance security levels could be out of whack in some systems, or some tech based services that were available in a system might now have disappeared. As we mentioned on Friday's news, you can relax if you had concerns about the availability of emergency power cells off the back of the Brewer Trailblazer megaship retasking. Following the patch today, EPCs will be produced by and available for purchase from surface port industrial economies. A fair few carrier owners will be crying tears of joy at the news that the cargo transfer button now features an acceleration curve on its transfers, meaning the longer the button is depressed, the faster the transfer goes. Not only hugely valuable for transferring tritium from the hold, because you know your crew can't be dirtying their hands with refuelling from the cargo hold, but it will also be a welcome feature for anyone building out colonies, transferring thousands of tons of goods to and from an adjacent carrier. Apostrophes can now be used when renaming colonization assets, which I know will make a fair few folks happy, and brilliant news for anyone who is a fan of Odyssey's on-foot conflict zones, this patch is resolving the issue where those on-foot zones were not spawning, despite the frontline desk claiming quite the opposite was true. There should be a shed ton more on-foot war-based scenario options for you going forward. I've only touched on the full depth of the patch notes here. There's a list as long as your arm of more fixes and tweaks listed in them, so it is worth digging into them if something has been bugging you specifically. I have to say the quality of life stuff FDev have added is most welcome. I'm a big fan of the fleet carrier inventory transfer change, the Powerplay care packages solution, and fix wise I'm also super pleased to see on foot conflict zones being an option in colonised systems going forward. Just a reminder that HIP 87621 unlocks to Commander Access this coming Thursday the 13th of November at precisely 1600 hours UTC. At the very least, this will signify the next stage of the now months long missing scientist mystery that started in August. What's your favourite quality of life change in this patch? Did a particular bugbear of yours get addressed? And will you be deploying a Dodec station in early access? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe to the channel so that you see all our videos and community posts, and if you'd like to support our work here at the Burr Pit, you can also join us on Patreon. Links to that and everything else we've talked about in this video you'll find linked below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We very much look forward to seeing you next time.